All you got to do is look at
it. Amen. Look at God.
Look at it.
Oh, look at God.
Look at him today.
Yes, sir.
Look at it and see what he's able to do.
Yeah.
I dare you to watch it.
Yeah.
Look at him work.
Yeah.
See what he's able to do. Watch it. Just sit back long enough.
Yeah.
And look at God.
Yes, sir.
I had to ask some questions today. One question I would ask is, what has caused you to cry out to God lately?
All right. All right.
I'd ask you, have you cried out in pain after the death of a loved one?
Yes.
I'd ask somebody, have you tried to save money to meet your obligations but found out that all those savings have gone and disappeared through unexpected medical bills and needed family members?
Well.
I'd ask somebody, are you yourself suffering from an illness that you can't shake?
Yeah.
But I want you to look at God in the midst of all of this.
Yeah.
Somebody might be crying out to God for those you love who are walking in their sinful ways.
Yeah.
Try to tell them about Jesus, but they don't want to hear you.
Yeah.
You just wait a while.
Yeah.
Look at God work it out. God has a way
Yes, sir.
of working things out. Can I get a witness here? You will recall in the first chapter of Exodus how it tells us of the change in the situation facing the Israelites in Egypt during the centuries after the death of Joseph. How God prospered them. How they grew in numbers, so much so that the new rulers of Egypt seemed like they were threatened by the expansion of the children of Israel.
What you say?
Posed some issues and commands by the Pharaoh in Egypt, whose goal was to enslave the Israelites, setting ruthless taskmasters over them. Pharaoh issued commands for the midwives to kill all the baby boys at the time of birth.
Yes.
And when that did not work, Pharaoh issued another command that after baby boys kept coming, kept crying, he said, throw them in the Nile. And although he tried, he did not succeed.
Amen.
The more he tried, the more the numbers grew. You recall the Israelites now have been in Egypt almost 400 years. Some have forgotten about what God had promised to Abraham.
Yes, sir.
Some had not remembered what God had promised to Isaac and Jacob. Some did not even know who Joseph was. They didn't know that he was a dreamer. They didn't know that he could dream dreams and interpret dreams. So it is that they have endured much persecution. They have endured much pain.
Talk about it.
But here something takes place.
Let's see, preacher.
Out of all that's going on, Moses has now been born.
Yes.
And at his birth, he was, after a few months, because of his age, he was placed in a homemade ark. Placed in the Nile River. Pushed down the stream. Seen by the handmaid and the daughter of Pharaoh. Raised up in Pharaoh's court. Got old enough to look around and see some of his own folk being mistreated. Bible teaches that he killed one of those
That's
taskmasters.
right.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
And hid him in the sand.
That's right.
He had to get out of town.
Yes,
And he got out of town because he knew he would be killed if Pharaoh got the word. But while he was gone, the text will teach us.
Yes.
It came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died. The one who had brought so much pain in the lives of the children of Israel. This king has died. The one who was put a bounty out on Moses' head, he's died. The one who was going to afflict pain and hurt and agony on Moses is dead. You know what I found out? You got to be careful.
Yeah.
How you try and hurt a child of God. Because in the process of time, you're not going to live always.
That's right. That's right.
God has enough time in his life that he can wait out on you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
He's time all by himself. Within God. You know God is time is wrapped up in it. And you know what preacher said? All time is a chunk of eternity knocked off on both ends. Time is in God's hand. Here it is. The king of Egypt has now died. But note the text says, the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. They cried, and their cry came up to God by reason of the bondage. Now, Pharaoh the king is dead, but the trouble is still alive. You know, that's how it is with us as Christians. Just because your enemy died,
All right.
doesn't mean that all your trouble gonna die with it.
Well.
Trouble has a way of sticking around.
Yes, sir.
If you don't have trouble on one side,
That's right.
you have trouble on the other side.
All right.
Can I get a witness in here?
Yes, sir.
You know you can leave one job,
That's right.
feel like you are escaping trouble,
All right.
get hired on another job.
Yes, sir.
You have found out trouble,
Everywhere.
I'll find you on that job.
Everywhere you go.
Somebody thought they'd get rid of that one and get another. And you found out. Still some trouble. But I want to encourage somebody who's in the midst of your tears. Somebody who is in the midst of your burden.
Yes, Lord.
Somebody's in the midst of your bondage. I want you to look at God. While you're in the midst of what you're going, I want you're going to see about four things. Four things you're going to see. Because when you look at the text, in the Hebrew writing, in verses 24 and 25, normally there are only about 15 words there. Not a whole lot. But there is one name that's mentioned 4 times that carries more weight than 14 words. This one name carries more weight than all your burdens. This one name carries more weight than all your trouble. This one word, this one name carries more weight than all your trials. This one name carries your trouble. God is bigger than your trial. God is bigger than your tribulation. God is bigger than your burden. God is bigger than your sickness. God is bigger than what you're going through. Text says that their cry came unto God because of the abundance. And the text says, and God heard their groaning. Look at God. God can hear that when the righteous cry for help, the Lord will hear their cry. You know, one word, one theological term is a word that describes God. This word is called anthropomorphism. Sister me. That makes me feel good. She just made me feel like I had said something. Then some just said, y'all just say it with me. Anthropomorphism.
Anthropomorphism.
Real voice is anthropomorphism. And here, you got to shake your head when you say it. You don't, if you don't shake your head, you don't mean that's $100 word to say that God has been given human attributes.
All right.
When it says that God heard, it says we know God is a spirit. And we know they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. But I want you to know God can hear your cry. You know, Big Mama didn't know a whole lot about theology. She probably couldn't even pronounce the word anthropomorphism. She probably said, well, you better stop cussing like that. But she knew something about the Lord. She didn't know nothing about this, but she said, I love the Lord. Because he heard my cry. And pitied every groan. Long as I live and trouble rise. I'll hasten to his throne. And all God is trying to tell us is that God heard their groaning. And I want somebody to know this morning that God hears your groaning. Somebody been crying a long time. You've been talking to God, crying out to God, spending sleepless nights, pillows wet with tears. God hears your cry. And I get a witness in here. I think I got somebody who can testify. About 5 people can testify that God will hear you. No matter how long you cry, keep on crying. God will hear your cry. Tell you, don't stop crying out to him. Children of Israel cried out to God. And I want you to know as you walk through life, you keep looking at God. And you watch God hear your cry. But not only that, he not only says God heard their groaning, but he says God remembered his covenant with Abraham. Now I love the way he said this, not just with Abraham, also with Isaac, and also with Jacob. And if I had to tack on something, I said also with Joseph.
All right.
If I had to tack on something, I said also with my grandparents.
Yes, sir.
Also with my mama. Also with my brother and my sister. And somebody here today can testify that God will remember his covenant with you. Can I get a witness in here? The covenant, sisters and brothers, is no more than a formal bond that ties 2 people, 2 nations, 2 parties together. And for God to make a covenant with his people says that he loves his people and that he has a personal attachment to his people.
Yes, sir.
And to say that God remembered his covenant, his agreement with us, is saying that he says to you, he says to me, that I am with you.
Amen.
Can I get a witness in here?
Yes.
God promises that. One writer said in Genesis 49 that the Lord has forsaken me. Said that my Lord has forgotten me. But Isaiah came back. Said the Lord said, I will not forget you. Because I have engraved you on the palm of my hand.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And I think